hear us nice and clear?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. You are, what do they say? What do the kids say nowadays?
The shit?
Yeah.
Turn up?
Doing work.
Yo, why don't you tell us, Chris, that was a lot of your own edits, right?
Yeah,
Why
decent amount for sure.
Yeah, why don't you tell us how you feel about playing other DJs' edits, like you told us earlier today?
It just doesn't feel right to me personally, but I think that's kind of like part of what being a DJ is kind of like having your own sound. I mean, there's plenty of room for all kinds of DJs, but for me personally, like I just don't like to just play stuff that other people do. I feel like when I hear that stuff, I'm like, I could do that myself in my own way. So
right.
I was actually trying to dig towards the analogy you used earlier with Styles Davis and I outside, but you don't have to use it.
Nah.
So why the change of Vajra to Chris Karns?
You know what? It's just I got tired of like every time I introduce myself to people, it would be like a 10-minute conversation. Like I never ever introduced myself to people as like, hey, what's your name? Oh, I'm Vajra. Kind of thing. I was always like, oh, I'm Chris.
Right.
Like I would always, introduce myself that way. So
right.
It always felt more comfortable to do that. So, instead of going from like, what's your name? Oh, what does that mean? Like, where do you get that from? Like, what is that? How do you spell that? Where do you play? Like, just like doing the whole like same thing over and over again. And
has it helped out with like branding purposes or anything like that? Or
I think so.
It's the same?
I feel like it's actually helped. Yeah, like definitely the as far as like social media and stuff like that, it's picked up a lot faster than I thought it would. So I feel very grateful for that. It was a big risk.
Yeah.
To do that, to change my name after like 16 years in the game with the same name, but I felt like it was something that was holding me back. Is the way that I felt.
Did you have to go by Chris Karns, the artist formerly known as Vajra?
You know what? I mean, there's been a couple times that people have wanted to build me that way, but I think with like the Master of the Mix thing going on right now, and like that whole like that exposed people to people who knew who DJ Vajra was, knew who the new name was, who Chris Karns was, because like it doesn't really matter. It's like people who liked what I did before, they're not going to not like what I do now because I have a different name. It was never about the name. It was more about what I was doing with the turntables. So yeah, man, I'm glad people are still on board.
I know you for having like the funk and hip hop background. Are you starting to play more top 40 spots, and do you enjoy it, or is it more of a paycheck?
I'll play whatever type of party, but I always try to like make sure that I throw in my own flavor in there and do stuff that represents me and what I feel like I want to do, or what I'm feeling as an artist. So, oh, DJ Autopilot is in full effect, by the way.
Keeping the flow.
I don't know how that happened, but I hope. Oh, go ahead. It's instrumental. We're good.
We're good.
Good job, DJ Autopilot. Serato. Whoa, what a great program. Anyways. Now that I got a check from them, we can move on. No, I'm playing. I love those guys, but, seriously. But, I'm just going to keep moving in the direction that I want to move in musically as an artist, and just hope that good things continue to happen, and that I can continue to make a living as a DJ, as an artist, as a musician, whatever you want to say, category you want to put me in, like whatever. That's what I want to do, so that's my goal. I want to keep it going.
Word. How did you link up with Yelawolf?
That was actually through Craze. What up, Deanie? I didn't even see Deanie in here before. Deanie! DJ Deanie is in the house. Craze put me on to Yelawolf, and like he couldn't do it anymore.
Right.
So it just like he just kind of was like, oh, you want to fill in and try it out? So I tried it out. I didn't really know, honestly. I didn't know Yelawolf's music at that point.
Right.
And I kind of learned as I went, but I could tell like his fan base has had so much excitement behind them, and it was like at such a great time during his career. Just Radioactive had just come out, and which was his major label debut on Shady Interscope Records, and it was just fun. It was fun, so did that for about a year and a half, and it was great. It was a great experience.
What was he like?
Yelawolf is the man. I love that guy, man. Like he's a cool guy. He's like the artist. He never really ever cared about trying to make a hit or trying to please anybody else. Like whatever he felt like he needed to do that best represented what was inside of him. He would
Yeah.
always make sure that that was what was presented first and foremost in the forefront of his career, and I think that's why he has such loyal fans, because he always like keeps it true. And you know what? Like, I've actually heard people tell me that they think Yelawolf is like, oh, he's like a white gangster rapper or something like that. It's like, no, he never really ever talks about anything that he didn't actually experience or go through. Like, everything that you hear when he's telling stories, it's all real life stories. So
Yeah.
I know he takes great pride in the fact that he's like a real artist, he's a real person, and like he doesn't like tell lies on record to try and get people to, you know, like be entertained or whatever. Like, that's just his own personal style, is that he tells real stories, and he never talks about like himself like being behind the gun or shooting a gun. Like, he'll talk about stuff that he's experienced and seen firsthand, but if you really listen to the lyrics, he's just telling stories about stuff that he's seen and been through in his life. So yeah, the Yelawolf is the man. Always like have nothing but love for that guy, for sure.
Cool. And then we've heard a lot of exclusives throughout your sets so far. We're only halfway. One of them, shout out to DJ Scene.
Yes.
You guys knocked out a, I guess, original.
Yep, me and DJ Scene. Yeah, we just we put a song together called "The Real World."
Yeah.
And I don't think it's out yet. I'm pretty sure it's not out yet. I know a couple of DJs have it, but yeah, I mean, that's about it. Like, this is like pretty much the first time that I've even played it ever. So like,
with that collaboration, are there any other collaborations you're looking to get into, or solo projects that you might be producing? Maybe even produce some for Yelawolf. Like, what is any of that like kind of?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I really enjoy just the act of collaborating with other artists. It feels really, to me, it's like more fun than just doing stuff by myself all the time. So
yeah,
I like to collaborate with people. You know, I have a project that I'm working on with a producer named Supervision, who's on the Pretty Lights music label, and we have a co-produced project that we're putting out very soon. We're not going to rush it. We're just going to take our time and have fun with it, make it great, and then put it out. And so keep an eye out for that. That's going to be, the project is going to be called Silverback. And I also have some other stuff that I've been working on with other people, and, you know, many collaborations and also solo projects that are going to be coming out soon. So,
dope.
Yep.
You've competed in the DMCs, the Red Bull, and Master of the Mix.
Yeah.
How are all those different from each other?
That's a great question, actually. Yeah, like that is a great question.
Was that you, Styles? Is that your
Styles
question?
just wants to take a
Nice
little
one.
credit
Nice
on
one,
his
Style.
side.
Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider question.
You know, I would say like they're all very different. Master of the Mix is different from Three Style and DMC. You know, put like those two. Master of the Mix is very different from both of those battles, just because of the fact that like with you know, Three Style and DMC, like you have infinite amount of time theoretically to put your set together behind closed doors. You're at home, you're in your comfort zone, you're eating a sandwich, you're smoking a joint, you're, you know, getting to take a shit when you want to take a shit without somebody like trying to watch over your shoulder and make sure you're not trying to cheat in some way. So like, you know, you're able to like have a lot more freedom in putting your sets together, and I think like that's what allows those type of battles people to get a little bit more creative. But also like Master of the Mix, I think, was by far the most challenging and stressful battle situation that I've been in, because of the fact that you had like such a limited amount of time, and especially like at the beginning of the show, because anybody who's watched the show knows that like we have a little practice room that we all get to go in, and as you see, like there's not 12 sets of turntables, there's 3, and like you got 12 people. You know, when we first went in there, it was like 12 people, and we only have X amount of time during the day. So it went from being like, okay, 5 minutes on the turntables was like your total time. Yeah, I think even the first round, it was like no turntable time. It was just like put your set together in your head and just get up there and just hope that it turns out right. So, but you know, as it went on, it became less people. We had more time, and it almost became like a little easier. And I think the sets actually started to get better as a result of that. People having more time to really practice. So, you know, we'll see what happens tonight. In the finals, it's like less than an hour away now. So I guess I should be nervous, right? Maybe.
Are you going to get back there on time, man?
I know. We're going to have to do some like Star Trek teleportation. just beam me to the next spot and
Now,
we'll battle.
one of the cool things about this season, most of the contestants know each other pretty well, are in the scene, and I mean, in many ways, have grown together. How did that affect the show at all? Like, positive, negative? What would you have to say?
I would say that myself and the other DJs on the show, we all got along really, really well. Like, I didn't know people like Loxy or Incrediboy or several of the other competitors, Dime Piece, Fly Guy. I didn't know any of them personally until we went into the show. But I can honestly say, I don't know if it's the same for everybody, but I feel like I came out being friends with everybody on the show. Like, there was not a single person that I don't have their phone number and I couldn't just call them up and just shoot the shit and just talk about, remember back in the day when we were on TV? That was crazy.
Till this day, how often do you practice?
You know, I don't practice on the turntables that much anymore, to be totally honest.
CDJs?
I'll be real. Yeah, I'm always on the CDJs.
Is that
I mean, I won those
purpose?
controllers on Master of the Mix, and like that's his next level, son. No, actually, but but to be totally honest, I do mess around with turntables a little bit still, but mostly just when I'm like playing out. When I'm at home, I'm more focused on just trying to put ideas together. And then I conceptualize it in my mind of how I'm going to do it, and then I show up to things like this and do it and hope that it just turns out good. And so, but yeah, just like trying to focus on production, and I think that's like a lot more important is establishing yourself as an artist.
Right.
And that's part of also the reason, to go back to the question about the name change, that's also part of the reason why I made the name changes, because I didn't want to be just known as just a turntablist or just a DJ or anything like that.
Yeah.
I just went with Chris Karns, not DJ Chris Karns, just Chris Karns, straight up, because I don't want to be put into a box. I want to be able to do whatever I want. If I want to jump on a drum set and rock out on that for a minute, or if I want to rap in freestyle circle or beatbox or whatever, it doesn't even matter. Like, I don't want to have like those confinements of being labeled as one specific thing anymore.
I notice like DJs that are trying to get out of DJ, like DJ Vice is just Vice now. Like, they're trying to get out of the DJ part in the front, but then you got celebs trying to put DJ in front of their name, so they're known as DJs. But this is gonna be the last question, then we'll let you get back into your thing.
All right.
What's the scene like in Denver?
Oh, the scene in Denver is great, actually. I love
the weather is awesome.
Yeah, man. Like, Denver is a great city to live in a lot of different ways. It has its drawback. I know a lot of people always ask me the same questions, like, man, is it snowing there year round? The answer is no. It is not snowing there year round. The weather is actually very nice most of the time. So, but the music scene is great. We got a lot of great artists coming out of there. We got guys like Pretty Lights, who's based out of Denver, who I've been hanging out with a little bit, working on some stuff. I won't talk too much about that until it's official, but there's some stuff coming. Don't worry. Shh, don't tell anybody.
You just winked at me with two
Don't
eyes.
tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody you're going to play any of those songs coming up in the next
set. But yeah, Denver is awesome, man. Like, I love it out there, and like, there's so many great venues from, Beta, which is Beatport's venue. Beatport, for a lot of people, don't even know that Beatport started and is based out of Colorado, out of Denver, and which is like the #1 dance music download site in the world. So like, that's based out of there. They have a club called Beta, which is like the best sounding venue that I personally ever played in. Like, you feel the music instead of just listening to the music there. You really like experience music in a different way.
What's the capacity?
I think it's about 1,500.
Oh, wow.
If it's full. I think for Pauly D they had 1,700 or something like that.
Nice.
Standing room only.
Stacked them.
Yes, it was like, I mean, they had.
I bet the bar did bad.
They made sure that they had just enough room for everybody to reach up and do a fist bump and get there. Yes. But yeah.
All right. Well,
oh, buttons are being pressed.
No, you're good.
We'll let you get back into doing your thing. You're killing us. The chat room's on fire right now. Got a lot of big names in the chat room, and they're loving it. So.
Oh, who's in the chat room right now? Who's
let's see. We got Clutch, Scene, Spider,
Hell
Nature, Envious, Rocco. There's a few others. I think they've been quiet lately because they're trying to hear you in the interview.
All right, cool.
But, yeah.
Hell yeah, Spider was at the barbecue earlier. Shout out to Spider. Scene, of course. About to drop it on him.
All right, man. Here we
We're
go.
about to drop it on him. Me and DJ Scene. Keep an eye out for that one. DJ City, you guys will have that shit
Oh yeah.
It is.
for sure.